Howdy folks, I'm Teri and today we are going to be revealing the OP prize pack for the episodic OP event, A Matter of Honor. So I'm really excited to talk about this episode, A, because I love the episode, despite it being quite early season Trek. I think it was released in 1989, which, oh my gosh, quite a bit ago. It is a really lovely depiction of not only the Klingons, but also of Commander William T. Riker, which you don't get a lot of, quite frankly. So we're going to go through the prize pack. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the episode while we go through it, because it is a great episode. I do encourage you to watch it. Episode 9 of Season 2, if you're curious. But we're just going to roll right into the intro and then get chatting, so stay tuned. Alright, so we start off with Commander William T. Riker, and, well, he is going to be the first Federation officer to serve on a Klingon ship, and that comes about through a Federation exchange program. It's the Officer Exchange Program, and that is the participation prize for this pack, and it's a freaking great option. It's a great resource. I think that for people who like cross-faction play or just looking for a mechanism that doesn't allow right wide open for cross-faction play, this is a great card for that. I know in kind of the circles and metas that I play in, which is generally a very faction pure area, we're going to be looking at this card and we're going to be talking about it, but I'm pretty sure that if you choose to play this tournament resource, because it is your only tournament resource, you'll be able to do that faction stuff, because it's also kind of limited to only 2 factions, but it is such a great boon because not only does it not cost you anything, it also makes things cheaper for you, which is really nice, and it also forces you to take crew heavy stuff, which is generally action heavy, and it kind of affects the way you play as well. But I think that it's a nice participation prize. I think that it's it has the potential to be very, very good, and I like the fact that it's available to anyone who shows up to the OP event, which is fantastic. Speaking about the ship that is the prize ship for this pack, it is a Klingon Fort class ship. So if you're looking for a Klingon ship or you're looking for that sort of thing, this is a great pack. It also has Federation cards in it because it's the cross officer exchange program pack, right? So you'd expect Federation cards to be on this pack, and ultimately it is the ship that William T. Riker does serve his little exchange program deal on. The captain is kind of very reflective of the captain that is shown in the episode. He is not a fantastic captain. The depiction of the captain I find a bit caricaturish, to be perfectly honest, but he wasn't a really effective captain to begin with. He was overly suspicious and he was quick to judge, but at the same time, I think that, if I was alive during the Klingon Federation War, and this captain obviously was, he lived it, right? Because the Kinnemer Accords happened in Worf's lifetime, and that was the end of the war. So clearly, this war went quite a while, and a lot of people lived through it. I'd probably have that same kind of weird suspicion. It's funny because it's never actually shown on the Federation side, ironically enough. But the Klingons, this captain kind of has that weird baggage about it. And also, that kind of translates into the card, but his actions, because of that weird suspicion, translate into the card. I don't think that this is a great captain, which is nice, because, this is not a must-have pack in any way, shape, or form. But I think that the captain is perfectly characterful for the episode, which is really fantastic for someone like me. Riker in this episode is everything you would want a Starfleet officer to be. He's honorable, he's oath-bound, he's, diplomatic, he's strategic, and he's, not the clown that he's normally, depicted as, the guy who's kind of wonky and the guy who's chasing tail. He's none of those things, and I love that. So I think this is a beautiful translation of the character from the episode right into a card, and his elite talent is, it's so perfect, the episode. It's also an interesting talent, because I love surrender actions, essentially, in the game. I think that they're really interesting, and I think that they're a big screw you to your opponent who may be planning all sorts of stuff. Surrenders can really bog you up. It robs you of an attack turn and basically can throw you completely out of position. And again, I think that's why I like them. I lean towards them, and this is one of those surrenders that really puts your opponent in a it can, potentially, I should say, put your opponent in a really tough spot, which is nice. I dig that. So there we have the Elite Talent and Riker. There's also a couple upgrades, which are interesting. One of them is a Klingon one of them is a Federation one. They can both be put on a Klingon ship, which is fantastic. And one is very Klingon-y, and in that the retrofit is like you would expect, this to be a nice-to-have card on a Klingon ship, and it's also very characterful, the Klingons. And the neutrino beam is, like, totally Federation, right? We repair stuff, our engineers are amazing, and that's kind of what you would see. And seeing these two cards together, they're both kind of elements that exist in this show, and in this particular episode, it's nice. It's also nice as, like, a twofer for Klingon players, if you happen to be a Klingon player who comes across one of these packs. They're really nice to have. They're not must-haves in any way, shape, or form, but they are really nice. They're characterful, and they're nice treats to have on your ship because, having the ability to repair hull on a Klingon ship is kind of a thing, right? Like, it's a big deal, given that there is really no other way unless you're taking cross-faction stuff, in which case you're taking crazy engineers and all sorts of amazingness like that, but just outright having that upgrade to do that sort of stuff is really nice to have. It's a great support kind of upgrade. And one of those ones that I think would be really interesting to put on a ship that Gowron is on, for example, because usually I put him on ships that have very low kind of attacks, because they're not going to benefit from his attacks anyways, and stack the attack on other ships. And I think that, like, having, like, a double support ship for Klingons is really interesting. If you happen to be a Star Trek Attack Wing fan and you're going to Adepticon, be sure to register for the Star Trek Attack Wing tournament. It's going to be a grand old time. I'm trying to figure out my way to get out there and play myself, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I can make it out there. But if not, please play a game for me and let me know how it goes. Also, the next episode in the actual show series is episode called Measure of a Man, and it is actually the topic of the Star Trek Hour talk that I'm going to be doing with the genius creator of such Twitter accounts like Picard Tips and Riker Googling. So he and I are going to be hosting this 1 hour chat on Twitter. If you're interested, I'm going to put the details down in the description doobly-doo thing down below. So please participate and check that out. I'm going to be talking Trek for an hour and I'm really excited about it. So that's all for today. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be doing another reveal for the next OP event coming up very soon. So be sure to be subscribed so that you get the notification on that as well. And find me on the social medias if you want to know when new videos come up. I'm going to be doing more Star Trek Attacking stuff in the new year. That is my New Year's resolution to you all. So stay tuned. Until next time, I will see you soon.